meeting, the second part of our budget meeting. And before we get too far, we'll check. Here it is.
Ooh.
Make sure.
Bluetooth's connected.
Yes, I mean, I didn't touch it, so it should be, but, I just want to make sure
You'll see them.
you can.
Yeah, they talk.
Those
Oh, is it?
Okay. Okay, so, Cody brought up that he's got something else to talk about, so. he's talking.
Done.
He said he's your argument.
Just messing with you.
So, my request was to start an emergency medical responder program in Union County. Every county around us has first responder to be done. So these are trained people who go out, non-transport, and get to the scene before we get. Obviously, this is gonna be requiring establishing like a paranormal department's labels, setting up volunteers who are all EMR trained, having equipment out there, establishing agreements with our outlying villages and cities to have equipment in their fire stations or somewhere there where a first responder can go out and go to a scene, start CPR, start, triaging emergency collars on patients and racks, just essentially having a first responder communicate. I don't have a number attached to what it's going to cost to do that.
Hence why it's not on my list.
Because a lot of this equipment's the same equipment we already use, so we would just need the same supplies we're already using.
Are you looking at us doing that, or say the village of Cobden doing
Well,
it?
that's the thing is, a lot of the villages have not done this just because they're worried about liability. They've been told liability and training to make sure that everything lines up is just too much. So this would be doing it as Union County and then just having agreements to use their fire stations or a fire truck that run up, having access to that fire station. So it would all kind of run parallel data and service, so everything system-wise runs together medically.
So is this something that you're,
Suggesting that we look at, or, I mean, you're not proposing it in the budget now?
Well, I would like to start it this next year, but, I mean, license fees are hardly anything, $100. But it may come down to, in the future, having to have first responder vehicle. Just a pickup truck that has the supplies on it, things like that. But I'm not asking for that this year. It's just kind of establishing this program so we can get first responders here. Building up that list of people, getting them trained.
How much is the training?
Right now, training is covered by grant money through County College. And then there's a program offered by the system that are involved. And there's EMR trained people in the community now. Compton has a bunch that are in the training. It's just they have no organization to be attached to. So this would be setting up that legal pathway for them to do what they're trained to do already. That they have supplies, people with medical bags out there, backboards, hours, things like that.
So how much do you think you would need for next year?
That's not hard.
I mean, are you talking a couple $1,000 just for licenses?
Well, because the license is not much at all. Because just adding that non-transport license can't get $100. But it's more the equipment side of things, as far as having to put out the bags with all the supplies, and backboards, and dollars, extra supplies. And then put out training. So I would say that under $5,000.
Have you talked to any of the municipalities about this?
I've talked to the fire chiefs in these places, and they're great for it because they want to be able to have their people who are able to go out and help that have had the training. If they push to get people trained this first year. Got to start somewhere. Because is having 4 people on duty at a time, but there are the only 3 hospital providers in the entire county.
So I have that on there now too, for the first responder. I put $5,000, and I apologize, I didn't realize when I made these red up here, you couldn't see them. Now they're yellow. Yellow ones now mean we've already budgeted for them. It's like the ambulance and stuff. So, I don't know where you guys wanna start, if you wanna go to obvious ones that you're gonna say yes to and mark yes and see what you have left, if you're wanna start at the top and go all the way down to the bottom. Was there anything like in highway, ambulance, raise, sheriffs, asphalt and snow plow, is any of this for sure that you know, the map? The advocate position, increase for Southern Seven, the new server. The new server, I think you said yes. You're gonna have to, the million size of it, right? Yeah. So I'm gonna put a yes there, because that's a big jump there. Okay, so is there anything else that you want to do? We start at the top?
Start.
All right, so they have the steam genie. That's from Washington Beach.
I personally don't have a problem with that. I mean, it's fine, but that's, we need to take care of the equipment we got. I don't have a problem with that.
Are you guys good with that? Okay, so then the next they have is the boom truck that was 120,000.
And you did say these are in order of necessity as far as you're concerned. Talk about.
So the boom truck is the 120, the Pyro was 230, and then you got the 250 and the 100. I know these are large purchases, so. Do you want me to put yes to either one of these two at the top and then come back? Do you want to say yes to both of them? Is there any of those things you know that's a no?
What is our anticipated income next year? What figure are we working with?
You were working with, you had 750 up here, right here, at 750. And so what we put yeses by, not those yellow ones,
Automatically deducted.
but it deducted the 2 tablets, the stenographer machine, the new server, the upgrades to this room. That's all subtracted from 750 and then what you have so far left. This is what you're working with, 593. So. Are you guys done with
The
this
two,
truck?
the truck and the roller are almost necessities. If I'm
I
understanding
would
right.
agree with you. Amy would agree with you.
The building
Well, we've got money set
started
aside
for building.
for the building.
You do have money for the building, but you have to spend, you could spend on something, so.
Is that included in the 593?
And the salt storage is important, but it's not necessarily important to the issue. You still have to and you have some time to get that done.
So then if we go yes with the boom truck and the tire roller.
Yeah, that salt storage, could we look at that again next year, but possibly?
Let's
Well, I'll leave them like that. We'll
leave it
come
like
back.
that.
Yeah.
Let's go down the list and see where we are.
Financially, yeah.
Okay, so with this is all the stuff for the ambulance department. I would say the pagers, to me,
Yeah, we're up to
this and
date.
this are a must. Because you got a new ambulance coming, it's gotta have a radio in it, and their pagers are really cool. That's 1,700, and then you got 9,200 and 5,000.
So we could take the 4 mats and go down to 2 to start out with, though, right, Cody? We were talking about earlier, and come back and revisit if we have some, at least get a couple going for right now, right? So,
So when I scroll down, you still have your number
Accessories
there.
first.
So do you wanna leave these for now, or you want to, yes?
we can change that 92 to 45 for 2 of them, right? 46. 46.
Where's that now? Okay, and then you have the back stretcher and the first responder program. Do you want me to wait on those?
Yeah, let's go on down.
Okay.
Let's see.
So then we have the public defender's request for a 10% raise for the assistant public defender, and then that's increasing the benefits for that.
I'm fine with that.
Anyone else?
Or go down to
fine with it, or do you
the, go
wanna
down to the
wait?
AEDs, if you wanna skip that, come back to all the salaries last, their
If it
employments,
was, yeah, maybe do people last.
do all the people last.
So the AEDs and the block cameras. I mean,
I'm for it.
those
I'm
things.
for those, Max.
Yeah, I think we discussed that several
So that
times
that,
up
but
until
if
now.
we have opioid money, does it still come out of does it still come out of that budget
It
that we have
actually
there?
doesn't.
It won't, okay.
We have opioid money set aside, so. And we have a lot of opioid money, like I said, this 9,000 is how I put it in.
The first responder program, I get rid of the opioid money.
Okay, so opioid money's gonna cover some of that too?
Yes, only this 8933.
So it won't come out of our 20816 that we have,
Yeah.
617 that we have left.
Well, if we can use opioid money for the first responder program, I mean, let's do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know that you can, I'm trusting what Cody says.
We'll
I
we'll
don't
have to
know.
check on that and we can revisit that, correct?
I'll pull the qualified uses list and I think something.
So these next two things are also two things that I would make because I think we really need the additional parking and it's gonna look much better with that, once the house is down to make it into asphalt and then the snow plows.
Well, I mean, we're already taking the house down, so that's a done deal.
Yeah.
If we don't do something with the lot, it's gonna be a mess.
I agree.
So,
We have to pull a gravel on anyway. Always gravel, we're gonna base coat or what?
I'm gonna put yeses there. This is a person, so it's if the person. What about the map? This is, her reoccurring charge of the $6,700, gets paid out of assessor GIS account. So, actually, it won't come out of this number either. So but the one-time charge of the 12,000 would.
For the first year,
Yes.
for one time only.
Yes, and then this one time that she said this is, we have to, because they're switching our system, and if we don't, our people won't know how to use it. And that's high end, that's the number she said to be 1 to 5.
Yeah.
5,000. But this is the one. So that's the map on the.
So that'd be a total of 18,000, you add the two together.
Well, this will come out of her assessor's GIS. you
So
don't
all
have
we're gonna have out of the budget's to 12.
Well, I'm all right with that, I mean,
We're gonna have to stay up to date.
yeah, I mean, it's, yeah, basically what you're doing there.
It's that new map option on the internet.
You can cross over whose property.
So yes, or skip it. What else is left? And the one-time charges don't scare me near as much, so.
Okay.
So, well, that's a person, that's what the judge didn't ask for. Southern Seven, do you want to look at the rest of this stuff first, or do you want to?
I don't, Maybe
like I
that's
said, I
not
gave
a-
5%.
we're already giving them an increase. I mean, if we can give them more, I think that's great. I don't think that's a priority, that's my personal opinion.
I'm good with that.
They raised last year too.
5%.
Yeah.
That's what.
What about the legal bills? Are we keeping the budget at 150 and then you approve them at the end of the year?
That's what we've been doing it.
So I'm sure you're good with it. Okay, so what we have left is the person that the judge asked for. We have the person and grant money that Tyler asked for. The raise for the public defender. Back stretcher. And then the storage stuff. That's what you have left. $148,000. I mean, the cheapest thing you have
The
left is the
10%
max rate.
for Daniel over there is, it's not putting new employees on the payroll, it's
Correct.
trying to keep,
Trying to keep them.
yeah, I'm yes for both of those.
Do I have other people? You guys good with it? Just shake your head.
Cannot, this is a question for Tyler, unless somebody else can answer it. Instead of Tyler trying to have, can we not just hire one person to help work in both of these departments to do the jobs at dual roles?
Are you
Is
talking
that not possible at all for the two positions? For Denny's person and your person you're asking for, can we not hire one person for dual roles? Why can not people work in dual positions? I'm just asking.
So you're talking
Because that's it's $150,000 that we're looking at
between the two.
between the two.
So I'll try to answer your question the best I can. My victim's advocate doesn't necessarily, victim's advocate's position is not just to do OP and address those issues. That's a fraction of it, okay? However, she does do things that I will do myself sometimes, or that other attorneys will do as far as file maintenance or calling people. So she's a she has various other parts. If I were to have another assistant, it would take some of that off of her plate that would allow her to redirect some of her efforts to OPs or these specifically OPs. Now, I say that with a to follow up with that though. We can't field every person that comes to the courthouse door that wants an order of protection for whatever reason. That's not the way that a victim's advocate's supposed to work. Okay, it's a victim's advocate. Just because you want an OP doesn't always mean you're ready. But yes, will it spread the load a little bit to allow our current victim's advocate to do more things in the world of OP? I think yes, if we have another assistant state's attorney. Okay, is it another victim? But that's not. We're not doing a victim's advocate position. Right? I want to make sure that's clear. I'm asking for an attorney that's going to do more of the, casework, phone calls, emails, those kinds of things that Mallory does also in her victim support. So it will take some load off of her and allow her to spread herself a little bit differently as far as the order of protection goes. I think that's the main concern and request for the victim's advocate position, which would be, I guess, a county level position. I'm not sure how there's different things.
Is one of these positions a professional, is it a professional position that obviously you're looking for, where Denny is just looking for a high school graduate at $20 an hour? Is there any college degrees that we have to have between these two people? Obviously more on your side,
So on my side,
or is this just because both parties butt heads and we're not gonna share anybody?
well, I I don't know exactly the scope of what the new victim advocate position would be. What I heard here today is it's words of protection. What I'm trying to make sure you understand is our victims advocate does do words of protection, but that's a fraction of her overall job responsibilities, okay? So it's hard for me to.
There's a lot of minuscule orders of protection that people can write themselves.
And they do, yes.
And they do, and it is what it is. So I mean, it's not just $20 an hour, it's another 20 grand for benefits, so, I don't.
In my opinion, Brandon, you were talking about this position that I'm highlighting.
Yep,
And
and
this position.
yes, correct.
But the way I look at it, it's this position and this that are kind of related, kind of. Because if he lost the grant, he would need another 15,000 to keep Mallory on to do victims advocate. And this is for a victims advocate. And I said the OPs are going up, but he said he said we need a full-time victim advocate to do all the work the victims advocate does. With helping the, that's all I really know. So
But
I think
see,
this
all the
could
work
be
the
Mallory.
advocate does is specific to prosecution. So to have them outside of my office just, I don't know who's supervising this person, I don't know who's overseeing this person, or what role as a victim's advocate they serve that my victim's advocates do as far as helping get evidence together, interviewing clients, keeping clients informed on case statuses, just support, driving them to the courthouse for meetings even, I don't understand what the full scope of responsibility would be, or the oversight, or how that would be managed when we're calling them a victim
But that
advocate.
would be creating a new job. Well, like you said, once you create a new job, and we'll be forever stuck with that. And like I said, it's just not the $20 an hour with that, you got.
And that'll go up each year as
We
well.
may have to, if the grant goes away and all that, we may have to look at something anyway. So
Yeah.
I'm no on the new position.
Yeah, me too, I'm big no on it, but that, I kind of feel like.
On this,
Okay, so then we've got to have somebody else take the load off in Tyler's spot. So then we'll go yes for Tyler's situation.
losing the grant.
Yeah.
This is not gonna eliminate anything to do with the victim.
Yeah.
No, I understand that.
That's two different.
That's
Yes.
not. This would, but and really Tyler's just asking for, I mean, we can put this in a contingency
That's
in
not-
case, no, we don't lose the
Yeah.
grant. But
Yeah.
the way we see it going and the way we see like this year they reduced it, but it was by something so minimal.
$600.
Yeah, that I didn't even understand why they reduced it. Like if you're only gonna pay more than $600.
I put that there just out of the abundance of caution, because the victim advocate does a lot in our office, and we have to have that full-time position. That's just got to be there. So that's out of caution.
I think put the 15 in contingency, like you're saying, and that way, if we have to go to it, we can.
Right, and so just the reason it's that much and only half, and why we say we don't know is because her grant doesn't run with our fiscal year. Her grant ends June 30th. So we know we have the grant till June 30th of 2026, but we don't know for the next year. So this is the half a year. So
So that's
say
why
yes.
it's,
Okay. So you still have 137. So you have Tyler's request for the second ASA. You have the back stretcher for 1,700, and you have these requests for the storage things here. Now, granted, you don't have to spend every penny of this, just so you know, but it is there. So that's the three things you have to decide on, is this, the person, the back stretcher, and these two storage things. Yeah. any of them
Well, I
no
think, that-
brainers one way or the other?
I think we agreed that you can put yeses to Tyler's situation, right? Yay, nay?
To adding a person?
Make his office more
Fish
efficient.
his job though. Did you not have an assistant before?
He has one right now.
Caseloads are
I had
increasing in
three
that office.
at one time. That was when we had the guy that I brought out of law school and brought up, as a student attorney, and we brought him in. We were paying him, I think he was making about 60 grand. And they moved on to greener pastures, for that amount of money. And then what we ended up doing was combining that position with the number one position to make it more attractive to get a new assistant in here.
So we had two, we combined them, gave the salary to one, and now we want to add. It's the same request that came to you last year, to add that day.
And I will say, my understanding is they just bumped the ASA over in Johnson County up to 95,000 over there. And they thought they had half the caseload. Probably still a little bit status quo.
So when it comes to
But our current one makes like 120.
when it comes to her new building down there, we done got the money for that.
What,
One, 250 goes in a year.
if that's what you want to spend it on. You have money that we set aside to build a highway building. I can literally take that money and put it back in the general fund, because it didn't get levied. It's just moving around the fund. It's completely up to you. If you want to spend it on that, absolutely. I mean, really what you have, I think this one's probably,
Yeah.
I think this one's probably, a yes.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
$1,700, and we're done with that one. So now you have her two storage buildings, and then you just have to decide on them, and you have to decide on Tyler's position. And those are the hardest things, because the two storage buildings are, expensive. And then that kind of thing, this is hard because it's adding a person. Always possible and adding a person.
Where I'm hung up on that, to be honest with you, it's costly to bring it on a new position or new post.
So like, for instance, it's 80,000 and the benefits probably are 30,000 if it's for a full year for that position, instead of just part of the salary. So you're probably talking 110,000 total to add a person. So in theory, next year, instead of starting with the 750, you would start with 110,000 less. It's gonna be a continuing benefit salary. I can't help you out on this because I think you don't want to be, it's no business. I'm scared to add people. Up to you guys.
But you're creating jobs for people that need to work.
His caseloads are increasing in that office. He's already, at present time, he's already now where he was all last year.
Right, no, I get that, but I know that traffic is the majority and the new guy does traffic. He does all traffic.
The new guy.
So like 600 of the 1,000 are traffic.
But those are the least time intensive. Those are the small end of the time to do that. Felony, the missing, essence, to do all that with the time.
But those aren't going up.
We're
It's
already,
the traffic that comes.
we're already on all of those.
I disagree, but that's all. Completely up to you.
Have we ever had any complaints from the state or anybody for not having timely cases brought forward.
Everybody complains about how fast the court moves. I don't know. Nothing ever happens as fast as anybody.
I think we ought to go ahead and just bite the bullet and put somebody on and make that office more efficient. Taxpayers, get them to a speedy trial, get them gone, wherever they may be going.
Chairman, your
I'm
thoughts?
waiting to hear at least two more of you, one way or the other.
I mean, I've got mixed feelings about it. Again, my problem again is adding another person. But then on the other hand, I know we've had more than what we have now in the past. But
I know, I think from past history, you guys cut those positions out just due to financial situations at the time when you had to make, tough changes. Is that why you got rid of those, some of those
The
positions
second
back?
ASA.
Yeah,
We had the second ASA, but they made like, if we're going back to Tyler Edmonds being a state's attorney, he would have like two ASAs making $40,000.
Right.
Those days are gone. You
Yeah.
can't do that. But he chose to have two less experienced ASAs. The conversation that we've had in years past with Tyler is that he'd rather have a good person.
sure, combine the two salaries.
So that's what we did a couple years ago. But then the last 2 years, he's asked for.
There's a lot of things that have changed in 2 years' time as far as what we do, how we do it, and time we have to spend on it.
Unless they're asking you to do more work, and they're asking you to do more work.
And not just more work, but more work sooner, faster.
Sure would be nice if we made revenue off of it, because it'd be a lot easier to make that decision if you generated revenue off of doing more work in a timely manner.
That's the state of Illinois.
Do what?
It's public service.
Well, one thing I'm gonna mention is, think about the agenda where we had, the food sanitation ordinance hanging out there for how many meetings?
Well, I know, and that's another thing to look at, because there's more and more stuff that we're having to get legal counsel on to do, and that's, it's just like this, the solar thing. I would like to get to the point where we're not having to hire an outside attorney. Are you gonna have time to do that? Or can you do it? It's a mixed bag of stuff.
And that's one of the points I was trying to make when I was speaking earlier is, yes, number one, our office prosecutes, we do the criminal work, right? There's a lot to that, a lot of people don't realize what that entails, but personally to me, I try to do my best to advise, counsel, give support to every office in the county on legal issues or business. I don't want to say business, but, administrative decisions, liability decisions, contracts. There's a lot more that goes on just besides prosecuting the criminal cases in that office. And yes, this would allow me to give more of my time in that way. I would like to do more things, just generally beyond the prosecution side of my job at the county level. Open up some new, a little bit more time for different things.
I vote yes, so. So I make a decision, I'm going back to work. You go,
What do you?
consider it's too long. So,
Well, I just
If the cases were decreasing, I'd say no, but,
Good point. It's a
yeah,
good point.
you know,
Then you may wanna look at the cases from 2023. Because we normally file in the 200s, the upper 200s and 300 criminal cases, and I think we're at 150.
and now we're gonna add cameras to the scenario.
And get done in faster time frame. Or asking to be done in a faster time frame.
Which, well, I'm leaning.
Good.
Another behind. I know Brandon's decision, I don't know what the rest of the.
He said, two,
Oh,
yes.
said yeah.
Two, yes.
I said I just got mixed.
I think at one time or the other, though, we've all been up to the court and observed
Yeah.
and saw. And everybody is entitled to a speedy trial.
If we say yes, those, what's that leave in the bank account?
45,000, which wouldn't cover those.
Yeah.
If you wanna do
Which
either
we-
one of these two, you're gonna have to do them out of the highway.
Well, we know we're gonna hold off for the salt. And,
Possibly next year.
and then,
Well, I think we need to hold off on the building too.
That roller,
We've
that
got
roller.
another
was
year anyway.
expensive.
We've got the money sitting there, I mean,
It may not.
Yeah.
use it. So we can come back and revisit that building.
And hopefully you see, buy a used piece of equipment. Save some money on that.
And if she saves money on that, I'm sure she'll find another piece of equipment. There's a lot of categories. But we're getting.
I mean, you're updating, and then
We
the
are.
problem is it all hits you at one time.
Wrong button building
Well,
that.
the problem is we haven't replaced any type of equipment for.
And hopefully it won't take 2 years to get.
Yeah, some of this equipment's in 1960s and 70s.
Managed to milk that roller along. You said it was from, you said it was like.
any chance other than
Duct tape, super glue.
like you did before, somebody a little less. Not even help. As far as younger.
It's going, I mean, at that rate, that's what you're
What you're
not
gonna
gonna be
get.
looking at a
Experience.
veteran seasoned prosecutor. Yeah, I mean, we all pay bills and go to the grocery store, everything's more expensive.
Yeah.
I would like to try to be able to retain some, that's the thing, you know, you might be able to get someone in the end for 50 or 60, but you're not going to keep them. It's, at that rate, it's gonna be a new law school, someone fresh out of law school. For what it's worth, we've had this discussion about the proposed victims advocate. If it would help the board in making their decision any, I can direct that position to have a focus on victim crime. That would help spread the load of some of the victims advocate work out between my current victims advocate and that new position, new state's attorney. I can direct them to, that can be one of their direct assignments. If that would give you any more, you know, comfort in considering that. Whatever we need to do to try to make it comfortable.
Support system.
Make it happen.
So that brings the person back in that Vinny's talking about.
No, no.
No, no.
he's saying that possibly they could help in that area.
To designate a specific assignment for that position to focus on victim crime. Nothing said that they couldn't, in that role, do some of the things that a victim advocate does that helps our current victims advocate focus more on the OPs, which seems to be the reason
They're asking for that position.
the other position.
It's hard, Tyler, it's gonna be, I'm trying to, got mixed emotions on this. My hang up is the fact that we're creating a new position. And it's a forever position. Someone will know.
Just the position you want to be in, right, Max?
Yeah.
But then again, I mean, I don't know, guys, I mean, I hear everything you're saying.
No positions forever.
Well,
I know it's hard to give people out of positions, but no positions forever.
It's hard to lose somebody else. It just is.
If you financially don't have it, and that's the third person on the totem pole at that time, and when people take those positions, well, it happens.
yeah, I guess you're right.
I mean, if we didn't have the money, then we wouldn't even be discussing, wouldn't even be here discussing at the table.
Well, the one thing is you can't lose sight of the fact. She said, just because we've got the money there, that's why we've got money there. We've not said yes to everything that's come along in the last few years. It used to be, we didn't have money for anything. So I don't want to get back in that position either. So
That's kind of the way I was kind of looking at that.
If you want to save $40,000, you don't asphalt a parking lot down there. I'd rather give somebody a job.
how long we've got to make this decision?
I need to have everything done in the budget and posted by, I have to have it done by Monday the 10th, so that it can sit for 15 days before you approve it at your meeting. But I would need you to tell me before then, so that I can get it in there, if I still have to balance it. Well, I only have 1 week anyway, so next week is the week I have to work on. So, I mean,
It's like,
we won't meet again before.
so we don't have a meeting next week, right? We're on that 3-week thing right now.
You won't have.
So we will be setting the agenda next Monday, for sure.
I don't know, who's here on the 14th.
The 14th, yeah, that's the meeting that's your next meeting, not next Friday, but the Friday after. I mean, I'll say this, that this is my understanding, and again, this goes back to when Tyler Edmonds was in there. He always said, once we post the agenda, you can make changes to it, but not in total. So like if we posted out there that we were gonna spend, I'm gonna use even numbers, $1 million, then when we go to, like, when you go to approve it, it needs to still be $1 million, because that's what you told everybody you're posting. Where the money falls within the million, you can do that. So you don't absolutely have to have this decision. I don't know what's gonna change between now and